What's up, y'all? I'm out here on the range on this fantastic day doing some more testing. Very nice temperature out here, really nice mix of sun and clouds, so I've been trying to make the most of it. I've gotten one interesting one done so far, and this one right here ought to be some good 380 ACP. So of course the jelly contraption set up out here with a couple of chronos and 2 blocks of gel. Now I've done one test, like I mentioned, it was a really small one, so only took up half a block. I'll leave a link up above if y'all want to check that one out. Other than that, absolutely clear and plenty of room to get this one done. Heavy clothing barrier, of course, with the layer of denim, fleece, and 2 layers of cotton t-shirt. And this one here is one that I've had a few different requests for, especially from one person in particular that's been asking me about it for months. They know who they are. I ain't gonna mention no names, but I finally picked these up. I didn't put it off because I thought they were gonna be bad. I mean, completely the opposite. I know these things are gonna perform well. The problem with these things is, I'm sure y'all can all imagine, is the cost of it. But I went ahead and grabbed some so we can check them out and see just how good they actually are. So what I've got here is the Buffalo Bore. It's their Buffalo Barnes 380 ACP Plus P. So we're looking at a 380 solid copper projectile. This is Barnes TAC XP. That's the projectile that they use to load it with. Again, it's a Plus P. So you're talking about an 80 grain projectile with a velocity listed here of 1,275 feet per second. Now, like they always do with their stuff, they list several different test barrels and links on their website, so y'all can check that out if you're interested. I can't remember exactly what this 1275 was gotten from, but we should see that out of one of the things we're working with here today. But there's a look at your cartridge, brass case with that nice solid copper projectile, really nice big opening on that thing. And then as far as what I'm testing them out of, it looks like it's going to be a Smith Wesson kind of day. So for the shorty here, we've got the Bodyguard 2.0 with the 2.75 inch barrel, and then for a longer option, I've got my Smith Wesson M&P Performance Center EZ in 380. Now this is technically, I believe they call this a 3.75, 3.8 inch barrel. For me, I think for all intents and purposes, this should be considered a 3.5, just like the non-ported version, because that last 1/4 inch is nothing but a big old port. Is no rifling or anything in it. So technically it's a 3.75, 3.8, but 3.5 is what I think the real world performance is. But all that aside, again, I think these are going to do a fantastic job. Let's get everything set up and see what happens. All right, let's see what kind of velocity we get out of these. I'm going to do a 5-round average from each barrel length, starting with the Bodyguard first. Now, if y'all not familiar with this lab radar, like I always mention, you're going to see multiple velocity readings. The large number is at the muzzle, and then you've got 5 across the bottom. The first one there is at 3 yards, which is roughly where the gel is here at 10 feet. And then I've got the others set for 10, 15, 25, and 50 yards. Now, remember the box on this is saying 1275, and again, I can't remember the barrel length. I kind of don't expect to quite see that out of this Bodyguard. I hope we do, because I mean, this is very representative of what a lot of people are going to be carrying in 380. So, I mean, that just makes sense to me to base it around what people are going to be carrying. Well, let's see what we get. Whew, that's spicy. 1166. That's definitely spicy. 1162. 1181. That was another 1181. And 1162, so definitely not the 1275. Again, I didn't really expect it. It is spicy for sure out this little barrel. Let's check out the average. All right, so our 5-round average right there was 1,170 feet per second. So we're what, 105 feet per second off of what that box is claiming. Again, I'm pretty sure they've got different barrel lengths listed, and it was probably out of something longer than that. So I'm not holding that against it. Again, it is a very average type of 380 that somebody would be carrying. So I would love to see stuff rated for that, but it just is what it is. Extreme spread on this was 20 with a standard deviation of 9.8, so pretty nice consistency on it. And even at 1170, I'm sure it's still going to do a nice job in the gel. Well, let me get everything reset and see what the EZ does. All right, let's see what this longer barrel on the EZ can do with it, y'all. 5-round average on this one also. If I'm guessing, I don't know that this is going to hit that 1275. I mean, it's basically just not quite an inch longer even. Well, let's see what we get here. Got 1266, 1255, 1261, 1249, and 1263, so not quite the 1275 even out of this, but I can tell you right now, which I've said 100 times, and I mean it's common sense, this right here is a way more pleasant experience than them little old tiny ones. Let's check out the average on this. All right, so our 5-round average that time was 1259 feet per second, so still short of the 1275. Now, like I mentioned a lot of times, I don't mention it every time because I just assume it's common sense. Now, y'all know elevation, atmospheric changes, all of that can have a play in the velocity of this stuff. So to me, 1259 to 1275, that's probably in the realm of margin of error as far as atmospheric conditions, elevation, all that jazz. So we're right there where it's supposed to be out that EZ, still not quite at it though out here in my real world conditions. Consistency on it was good. Again, on this one it was 17, and then a standard deviation of 6.9, so nice and consistent really through both barrel lengths. So 1259 on this one. If you remember out of the Bodyguard, it was 1170, so you're talking about 89 feet per second. So I guess it did pick up right much with that extra inch of barrel length. So I think both of these, all of that being said, are going to do a really nice job in the gel. But let's get it all reset, and y'all know what time it is. All right, y'all, let's give me a home where the buffalo roam jelly time. We'll put one through each barrel length, starting with this little Bodyguard first. Honestly, I'm not really expecting anything just fabulous, fantastic out of this. I'm really not, and that's coming from a big fan of Buffalo Bore's 10 mil. This stuff just, it's not impressing me just yet anyway. Let's see what happens. What happened is the doggone thing curved out the top. I put it exactly where I wanted. Let me go reset it. All right, false alarm on that, but just barely. I mean, another ½ inch further, it would have been out that block. That being said, it looks pretty much exactly what I was expecting. Absolutely fantastic expansion and mediocre at best penetration. It's just such a lightweight round. I mean, that's just the way it is with this copper unless it's really, really moving. Let's see what the EZ does. All right, that should have been another nice one. Let's go down there and check these out. All right, let's check these things out down here, y'all. Nothing really impressive to me at all. I'm not impressed by this. I've seen far better performance in the gel. Now, that being said, this is not a terrible job or even a bad job as far as 380 ACP. This is typical or more than average performance anyway. As far as the energy level, I guess that's what I'm trying to get at. The energy level on these are really nice for a 380. I think they're either right at or maybe just a hair above those Underwood Plus P XTPs. So they're nothing just way above anything. The Underwoods may be a little bit above these. If not, they're right there at it as far as energy. So first up here on the top, this is the one through the Bodyguard. This one I expected exactly what I'm seeing right here. Short penetration and really nice expansion, and that's what you got. It comes in here, very nice expansion immediately, nice disruption there. Travels, it might be a little bit over halfway, but if it is, it just barely is, and you do have some very nice expansion on it. And then if we jump down here to the EZ, pretty much more of the same thing. It looks like these pedals did peel back a little further, similar to what we saw in that last copper 10 mil that I tested. The pedals peel back further because of that extra velocity, so you got just a little bit more penetration out of it. But again, the same really nice disruption, energy transfer there. As far as the extra penetration, I think you probably got maybe about an inch more. But let's find out for sure. So the one here on the top out of the Bodyguard, you're actually right at 9 inches. So 9 inches of penetration there. And then down there on the bottom from the EZ, you're at exactly 10. So an inch extra down there, but still too short as far as I'm concerned from both of these. And here's your closer look at them. Really similar as far as the disruption. You can tell there's a little bit more going on down here through that longer barrel if you kind of compare them there. Traveling on through here, that one there, again, that's the Bodyguard. And if we jump down here, that's the one from the EZ. From the top, pretty much same story. Now, since this one's closer up here on the Bodyguard, you can see that the disruption is pretty much equal between both of these. Again, follow it through. There's your projectile expanded, and then down on the bottom from the EZ. All right, let's take a look at these projectiles. With copper rounds, as you can see, once again, this is one place where they usually do not fail to impress, is with the expansion. You can see here, very, very nice even expansion. Now, this one right here is from the Bodyguard. This one is from the EZ. You can see again, like we see pretty much every time with the different barrel lengths, this one right here out of the EZ peel back further than this one right here, so you got more expansion on that. Personally, I would prefer this, so I would prefer even more velocity. And this one right here looks like it has zero signs of any kind of stress fracturing or anything like that. So these, I think, could absolutely be pushed harder if your tool could take it, I reckon. But that being said, obviously, as you can see, both of these did a very, very nice job of expansion. So let's get some measurements and see what we got. We'll start with the weight. They are both obviously started at 80 grains. This one right here is 80.0, so right on the money. This one from the EZ is once again 80.0 grains, so both of these exactly right on as far as weight. And then as far as sizes, we'll start with the Bodyguard. You got 694 and 700, so very, very nice even expansion on that one. And then this one from the EZ, you got 680 and 671, so just as we could see, a little bit, tiny bit less expansion size or final size on that one because of more expansion, but either way, very, very nice from both of them. And there you have it, y'all, the Buffalo Barnes 380 ACP Plus P. I would say nice performance from these, and I guess, yeah, it is nice performance. It's typical 380 performance, except for the energy. The energy was above and beyond typical performance, so very, very nice energy, very, very nice velocity, but that just didn't equate to anything fantastic in the gel, in my opinion. It's adequate. I mean, it's average. Again, it's average 380 performance, but we have seen much better performance in the gel and with equal velocity and equal energy with something like that Underwood. So as far as I'm concerned, this stuff has the energy, no doubt about it, but there are better rounds as far as overall performance for a whole lot less cost. All right, y'all, we're rounding things up and calling it done for the Buffalo Barnes 380. Again, just being completely honest, this did not impress me. The energy was nice. It was right there with that Underwood Plus P, so even that wasn't anything just out of this world fantastic. It was good energy for a 380. It's hard to get good energy for a 380, so yes, I give it credit right there, but the rest of it is nothing impressive at all. And to top it off, again, the cost of this stuff is just incredibly higher than anything else. I mean, anything else. Even that Underwood, it's like, I think that stuff is probably still double or close to double the cost of that. So in my opinion, this is one time where this Buffalo board just is not worth the extra cost, unless you have to have copper stuff. But even then, I mean, there's other options out there. The Barnes itself, its own loads, I need to retest those and see how those do, but the Defiant Munitions has got stuff. Now theirs is high too, but you know, all that copper stuff is, if you've got to have the copper stuff, I mean, sure, great. I guess this is about the best option or one of the best options you can get. But if you don't need copper specifically, me personally, there's no way I would give the extra cost for this stuff right here. And y'all know this is coming from somebody who absolutely loves their 180 grain 10 mil. I swear by that stuff. There is no other 10 mil I want to run, period, for any purpose. That is the 10 mil for me. So it's not that I don't like Buffalo bore. I love their stuff, but in my opinion, this right here just is not worth the extra performance you get for such a huge increase in cost. But let me know down in the comments what y'all think about it. Any of y'all out there run any of this Buffalo Barnes? If you do, what do you run it in? What do you think about the performance of it out here today? Let me know down in the comments if you think it's worth the extra cost. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you take a second and hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you got those notifications turned on so you get notified when I upload stuff. Big thanks again to all my Range Gang members and every single one of y'all for supporting the channel. I've got one more thing planned for out here today, so stay on the lookout for that. And in the meantime, stay safe, stay prepared, and I'll see you soon.